looks like my mic was off. Just checked it, and we are still here. This is NrG's Lucky Fool, our yellow Terran player. He is over here, going to be spawning on MLG's Metalopolis, and our Zerg player is Heaven on Earth, playing for Team Chaos Theory here in the purple. He is grabbing his expansion now before his spawning pool, so he is getting his fast expansion. This is going to be a best of 7. This is the first game, so both players are even 0-0 right now. The Overlord is going to be moving into a good spawning position. Gas has been taken by NrG's Lucky Fool, and he will be mining that for some time. He's getting his orbital command up. SCV does scout over here, and we'll see Heaven on Earth's position as well as the hatchery that is coming up. The spawning pool is now up, or coming up, and the extractor is on the way. We got a second Overlord actually parked in the gas vents, gonna be checking that place out. A Marine could actually scatter around the base eventually and see everything that's going on. A factory is coming up for Lucky Fool. He is not walling this off because he does know the spawning pool is just up, so the Zerglings are not quite on their way yet. A Queen is coming up at the main base, and the natural expansion is just about finished. It looks like there are going to be reactor Hellions on the way. Factory will be switching over to that barracks in just a moment. He's still on that one gas. We'll probably see him expand off of this to get 2 bases against our Zerg player, and it looks like a couple of Zerglings are now out. Going to be trying to chase away that SCV, possibly kill it off. Down goes the SCV. First casualty of this game. And we do have additional casualties on the way, especially as we head into the second game, third game, and on to the 7th game. Hopefully both teams are really strong. And here we do have the switch. We're going to be seeing those reactor Hellions out in the field in just a moment. They do take, I think, just 30 seconds to build, so soon they will be out, and a command center is on the way for NrG's Lucky Fool. And I wasn't all that prepared for this, so we do have additional SCVs being made, of course. Looks like the Hellions are going to be scouting around for the moment. A couple more Hellions on the way for NrG's Lucky Fool. He's grabbing the tech lab on that barracks right now to get some upgrades, perhaps switch it back over to give that factory some siege tank producing abilities. Heaven on Earth over here producing a ton of drones. He's getting a couple of Zerglings out onto the field. These 2 Hellions checking the watchtower, going to be taking control of that for just a moment, and the Zerglings now picking away at that supply depot. A lot of players enjoy killing that off. I'm not too sure if there's any strategic thing to killing that supply depot off, but I've seen players of all different races kill that supply depot off. Maybe it's a kind of like an eyesore. The 4 Hellions moving their way in here. A quick pull of the drones, and the Queen is getting a little bit off creep here. The Hellions are going to be relegated to the outside rim of this Zerg base. More Zerglings are popping out, additional 5 roaches on the way, and it looks like that command center is going to be placed at the natural expansion in just a second. And we did have the switch over for the siege tanks coming out, more barracks on the way. Second gas being taken by NrG's Lucky Fool. He is moving his tank out onto the field, and a couple of Marines going to be trying to clean up the rims of the base. Heaven on Earth is going to bring his overlords back. Queen's now spreading the creep towards that 3rd base. He may be looking to take a pretty quick 3rd. There is a lair on the way. Batling's nest is about halfway complete, and the gas being taken at the natural expansion, only now starting mining. NrG's Lucky Fool now has his natural expansion half saturated. A couple more barracks now finishing up a supply drop actually on one of those supply depots. Did not want to get supply capped at all. Overlord actually going to be scooting its way in here to see exactly what's up. Looks like that Overlord is going to back out, and a couple more Hellions are going to be, the same Hellions actually, coming here trying to roast away a couple of these creep tumors. Looks like they got one of them. The Zerglings trying to chase after those Hellions. Looks like the Hellions are just going to be able to sneak away from those Zerglings. Looks like one may be picked off. The 3 do get away. Looks like we have a small move out, a pretty big move out actually, from NrG's Lucky Fool. He is still getting siege tech, so he doesn't quite have that done yet. He's pulling a couple of SCVs along for the ride as well. More Marines getting produced. That's a lot of Marines. There's no tech labs on these barracks at all. He's getting an I think that's an engineering bay. Yeah, it is. And we have the Hellions now coming forth, going to get surrounded by the Zerglings. It looks like the Marines reinforcing. Looks like more Zerglings are in the production queue. Siege mode is just about finished. And Siege mode, it does finish up. The Marines are behind those Sea Shanks. Looks like the Sea Shanks will be able to tank the damage from those Marines and for those Marines. And it looks like a couple of Banelings are on the way. The Sea Shanks do have the siege rank, so they're not quite sieging up yet. More Zerglings spawning out here. 5 more Banelings, 20 more Zerglings on the way. And they're all going to be spawning in just a second. The Terran reinforcements streaming across the field. Banelings coming forth. Looks like those Marines are going to get blasted to pieces. The drones even coming out to deal some damage as well. The remaining Terran forces are being forced to pull back. Zerglings on their tails. Looks like Lucky Fool is going to be forced all the way back to his base. He's going to need to build a couple more units to be able to push once again. Medevac's now on the way. Zergling's going to be chasing after those Marines, going to try to cut them off from retreating. A bunker is on the way now. He does not have stim pack because he did not have a tech lab on any of his barracks. And he's not mining gas as natural expansion either. And it looks like he may have paused SCV production for some time. However, he still has those mules, which he can continue to use to get his economy up. Looks like we have a couple of Zerglings out on the field. There is a Siege Shank and a Marine at the watchtower. Siege Shank is not sieged up, so it's just taking a break over there. Looks like we may have a drop. Yes, it is. 8 Marines loaded up into that dropship, and it is headed over to the Zerg base. The Overlords over here, they don't cover this swath of space, so we'll see if this Overlord sees it. Looks like there is that medevac in sight vision of Heaven on Earth, so he needs to bring some units over there to take care of this. The Marines are dropping in now. Mutalisks retreating to the base, and those Marines, if they had stim, they'd be able to do a lot more damage. A splash from a Baneling, killing 1 Marine, but it looks like that dropship might get picked off. The Mutalisk chasing after it, and that dropship goes down with all 7 Marines in there, and the Mutalisks coming into NrG's Lucky Fool's base over here, going to be picking off a couple of SCVs here or there, and it looks like that stim pack research is so far away from finishing. Those Marines will not be able to stim to deal additional damage to the mutas as well as chase the mutas down. Looks like that 3rd base from Heaven on Earth has begun mining, as well as the 2 gas getting taken to get that muta cloud larger and larger. Reactor on the way for a Lucky Fool at this barracks. He needs to get as many Marines out onto the field as possible. His starport is sitting idle for the moment. We'll see if he decides to do anything more with it. Barracks coming up over here as well. Another command center coming up. Good game sense, knowing that he needs to get that up real soon. And it looks like with the Mutalisks going to be swinging in here. A couple of Marines are at the ready. They do not yet have stim pack, so we'll see how well they do. Of course, they do chase away the mutas. Do not want to lose any of those for free. 1 Siege Shank stuck behind over here. I don't think it can actually fit through here. And our Zerg player just making mutas. Flyer attacks the level 1 on the way. More Queens for that 3rd base. Mutas coming in. We'll see how much damage they are able to do over here. The Marines unable to stim to do all the damage that they could have done. So they are able to delay the construction of that command center. The mutas are going to be retreating for the moment. Additional Mutalisks going to be joining that field real soon. The command center is just about finished. Overlords do have speed now, will be able to spot for additional drops if they do come along. That's a lot of turrets from Lucky Fool. He does have a bunch of idle SCVs sitting all over the place. So this guy over here sitting idle, he's got another load up with a full medevac. It is headed out, and those mutas are trying to poke in here, but those turrets are very well placed, and the Marines getting dropped back into the main. The 3rd base is about to come up, but Heaven on Earth grabbing a 4th over here. There is a medevac over here getting chased by mutas, and the Marines getting dropped out, trying to deal as much damage as possible. That medevac is going to go down as well. 100 gas and 100 minerals down like that. But this did give just enough distraction to get this other drop in here. We'll see if it's able to do some damage over here. Looks like a couple of drones will be going down. The Zergling reinforcements streaming in here as quickly as possible. Going to be cleaning that up. The medevac is going to be hightailing it out of here. The muta's hard on its tail. Going to be see if they can take that out. I don't think so. It's going to retreat into the line of these missile turrets, playing Hunter style. For those of you who are Brood War players who know what I'm talking about. We have the move out from NrG's Lucky Fool pushing out with some Marines and a couple of Sea Shanks. Stimpack is finished, as well as the Medivacs in the air, going to be able to reinforce those Marines quite well. The Queen over here laying some creep tumors. Looks like a scan is going to have to go down to clean that up. All of that creep on the ground, the Sea Shank sieging up as well. Our Zerg player is going to be forced to make a lot more Zerglings and Banelings for the moment. 16 Zerglings in the production queue, and the Mutalisks trying to do as much damage as possible. They are flying back towards that third base, possibly trying to take out the SCVs over there, but it looks like our Terran army is advancing, and the Sea Shanks are not sieged up. The Zerglings getting a pretty good surround over there, but the Banelings just going off, and it looks like this is cleaned up by our Zerg player, Heaven on Earth, very easily with plenty of Zerglings to spare. Falling to 87 food is our Terran player, and this huge push from our Zerg forces will be able to clean this up very easily. And on the SCVs transferring as well, going to be pressed into battle. This is conscription here from Lucky Fool's army. All of those mutas going to be dealing a lot of damage. GG from Lucky Fool. And Heaven on Earth takes the first game for Chaos Theory.